Right, got it, got it. How's everybody doing today? What a great morning. If you have any sort of long-term account, however little it may be, congratulations. Good morning. Welcome to a fun-filled Tuesday. Heck, if you bought any shares yesterday, you're happy today. Um, I don't know if you guys remember me saying I bought Tesla 200. I think it was 212 or whatever in my long-term account. I am so tempted to sell out of that. You guys have no idea, but it is in my long-term account. So I have to be loyal to it. And we have to kind of sort of respect rules in that aspect. But it's the hardest thing when you see gains like that in 2 days to not sell off. Um, with that being said, you guys, welcome to the land wonderland right now, right? Everyone's super excited. Beautiful gap up. Remember yesterday we were talking about this. I said if this gaps up, it's going to continue on up. If it gaps down, it's going to be devastating to go down. But I guess we gapped up, and we've gapped up quite significantly. So at this point, I want to take it a little tiny bit easy. I almost want to short the futures currently. If we can get, well, it'd be like a 10-20 point scalp. It's not going to be a huge thing, but if we can get like a close below the 10 and the 20 on the 1 minute, I would like to, or maybe if we can get a close below the 90, so 790, that would be nice. But let's get talking. Let's discuss this gap up today. Okay. First of all, yesterday's candle was a very small, teeny, weeny inside candle, right? Low volume, not anything crazy, and indecision candle. So, we had a bunch of people going, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But today, that's not the case. Today, we've gapped up and it's saying something. So what happens to all the people that have been buying since here? They're going to want to take some profit. But this isn't a gap that's going, oh, we're definitely dipping. No, this is a gap that's going, oh, this is a bull flag breaking out with a massive gap up, right? If you guys can't see the bull flag, I mean, it's here. Let me, it's there, right? And we are breaking out. So let's not be in denial. Let's be fair to the bulls also in this case. But yeah, I mean, so I think at open we might see a slight dip, but we might see a bullish continuation afterwards. So I'm willing to play it, but at open, I do have a favorite ticker today also to kind of maneuver today. But at open, I'm willing to wait for it to dip. It is a retest gap. So wait for it to dip, get some buyers interested, and then play long. So at open, I will play it bearish. And then maybe around 10 o'clock-ish, I think I'm looking for a reversal. So that's just what my plan is on the cues. SPY, same exact thing. Let's go check out SPY real quick. SPY, same exact thing. We're on SPY, I think let's just look at some of the longer term averages. I love this gap up. One way to get out of moving averages mix up is to gap up or down. So like how Tesla's in that zone right now. The easiest way to get out of that mumbo jumbo is just to either gap up or down. And on the daily, SPY is definitely doing that. It's doing what we're asking it to do. So, beautiful gap up. I think we can certainly continue, but I think we're up like 200 something points on the cues when before we open. So that's a little too much. I mean, let's be fair, right? So I feel like we can pull back at open, and then we'll take it from there. Guys, if you have any tickers that you want to take a look at, let me know in YouTube land, and I will gladly go do that. Marie says, I'm making money on my calls. Woo! That's awesome. That's amazing, Marie. Good job. Um, Qualcomm and Apple. Let's check that out. First of all, let's go over my favorite gap of the day. It's gotta be AMD. I mean, you guys, this is a beautiful gap and go, right? How can you not? Gapping up above this resistance. Um, at open, I think I just expect AMD to run. Um, and if we don't catch that move, so, just the classic 1 minute chart, if we see some selling come off and then go long above that. So I'm waiting for that one red candle at open on the 1 minute chart and then go long above that. That's just what my plan is. I really like AMD here. I think it's got a smooth sailing up to 126. Let's just make sure there are no weekly, daily SMAs, EMAs on the way. Nothing. Okay, cool. Everything's coastal clear. It's all good. Okay. Yeah. I mean, AMD, if you look at the monthly chart on AMD, it just looks so sweet. Like it's looking like it's about to go berserk. So yeah, I'm gonna play it bullish. I want to play it bullish. I hope that we could catch it in time. But if you're quick to play this, do it on the 1 minute chart, wait for some dip, and then go long above that. That's my favorite ticker today. I'll be watching it very closely at open. Let's go look at Apple. Apple also a beautiful gap and go, same exact scenario as AMD. Also, Apple's an inside candle. AMD also is an inside candle, but these two are an inside candle. Inside candles basically just mean consolidation, just lots of tight range consolidation. That's what it means. So, this is pretty good compression, and think of it like a spring, like when you compress a spring and then it takes off in one direction. I mean, that's what Apple's doing right now. It's taking off in one direction. So I would say wait for some droppage at open and then just go long above that. But unlike the Qs and some of the other tickers, I think Apple and AMD are just going to take off. If I was in Apple, my solid hard target would be 189.90. So just this level of resistance, and then trail from there, I guess. But I would take majority of the profits there, and then see where it goes. All right, let's go look at Qualcomm. Oh, guys. Check it out. Beautiful. I love this gap and go. Lots of gap and goes today. I love this gap and go on Qualcomm. Lots of tickers to play. I mean, seriously, guys, pick your favorite. My favorite is AMD and also Apple. I would play Apple. I'm a little bit hesitant about Apple because just it's very, it's got its $2-3 worth of moves and that's it. Then it just doesn't move as much. So what I'm trying to say is there's no surprise results on Apple. So there's no like, oh my God, we had a 10-point day on Apple versus Tesla. I mean, it could expand, miles and miles. It could have like a 20-point day, or there is that surprise factor. That's what I mean. But yeah, AMD, Apple, Qualcomm, all of these guys, beautiful gaps up. So I like this buy the dip at open if we get that dip. If we don't get that dip, by the way, then this would not be something I would chase right away. I would wait. So let's say we just get massive buying coming in and this thing goes up to 130, then I wouldn't be chasing it at 130. I would just wait and be patient for either an S curve or some deeper dip buying. So that's what I would do. All right, let's go check out Tesla. We've got some more tickers to look at. Lauren says Starbucks is also very nice. I was looking at Starbucks earlier. Yes, I agree. Okay, cool. Let's check out Tesla. Tesla, I mean, this thing is a monster of a gap up right now, right? Beautiful gap up. there was only one way out of this mess, into this gap up, and it's with a massive solid gap up like this. It is a retest gap with a lot of range. I mean, essentially this is a 10-point gap up, right? So it's quite a bit, if you ask me. Let's wait for this to pull back a little bit. I'm not going to go long. I think two things can happen. We just go long at open, so we go just beast mode to the green side at open, and then we'll have to look for fade opportunities, or we drop at open a little bit, and then we'll have to look for bull opportunities. Two things, right? Two realistic things that could happen. So YouTube land, if you're watching this out there and you're planning to day trade Tesla today, of course, in the room, there'll be a lot of hand holding, but if you're out there alone on your own, remember these two scenarios. If Tesla just breaks out at open, look for fade opportunities around 10 o'clock. If Tesla drops and looks dippity, then look for long opportunities around 10 o'clock. So it's just what my plan is. All right, cool dealio. Let's go check out some of the other tickers. Tesla has the weekly 100 SMA right up ahead. Ooh, let's check that out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 240. Okay. All right. Yeah. So be careful of the 240 range. So again, just we gap, if we do something spectacular at open, let's say at open, we just go straight up into 240, I'd be looking very strongly to fade back down. Again, this is a very powerful gap up. So if you're doing anything in the short direction, if you're doing anything in the bearish direction, don't be afraid to move your stops up quickly, or well, down quickly. Don't be afraid to take profits quickly, right? Because it's a very, very strong gap up in the markets, in the broader market. So, don't just get caught with the wrong direction, with trading in the wrong direction. So yeah. If you're looking to do something in the bearish position, make sure you move your stops down and take profits quickly. But yeah, 240 is where I would draw the line also for profit taking. So if we open around 240, then that's an easy fade down. We'll see. All right. Okay, cool. Let's go look at Nvidia for George. Give me 1 second. Okay, cute gap up into resistance. We know the 500 level on Nvidia is going to be a little bit troublesome. So I'd be watching that range very carefully. I think Nvidia is going to do whatever the broader market does, but I think Nvidia is going to be a better bear candidate than a bull candidate. Again, I don't think anyone in their right mind is sitting there going, oh, today I will be shorting Nvidia. I don't think that's happening necessarily, but it's, if I were to sit there and be like, oh, if there's one ticker I definitely short, that's into resistance that I would fade down, then that would be Nvidia. I don't think for the long term anyone's like, oh, we'll buy long-term puts on Nvidia. But for day trade, I feel like this would be a good bear basket candidate. Again, nothing that stands out that I'm like, oh my God, yes, we should definitely short this, other than the fact that it's gapping into resistance. And some of the other things are not gapping into resistance. For example, AMD is not. Or Apple is not. It's got a little bit of room to go to the upside. So, if the markets take a turn to the downside, I think Nvidia is something I would look to fade down to. But again, 490, I'd be looking to go long again. So it's a retest gap. Wait for it to either retest and go long, or go a little bit higher into the 501 category and then roll over. So yeah, range on Nvidia. I mean, we can play it in either direction. All right, cool. I see some chatter in the chat pane. Jay says lots of short coverings happening this morning. Might have to wait for a few moments before getting into any day trades. Absolutely, yes. So if at open we get a massive amount of buying coming in, so I mean we've all been there, done that. We've all seen those, ginormous 1 minute candles, green candles that ride it up, 4 or 5 points, and then the rest of the day we just spend fizzling out. So if that's the case, that's what I'll be patient for. I'll wait, right? We'll see which way it wants to go. Arcelia, it's so good to see you back in here. I'm so sorry about yesterday, and I'm glad we got this fixed. All right, cool. Let's go look at Meta real quick. But yes, lots of short coverings. Some tickers look more interesting than others, but everything essentially looks bullish. So yeah, we'll see. I feel like, so when it's a question like that of what are we gonna do? Are we gonna short? Is this gonna be short coverings? Is there gonna be whatever? I like to go look at recent a couple of weeks activities, and it looks like in the past couple of weeks we've actually had quite a few people profitable. So it totally depends on which direction we take at open, but I think we're going to get a follow through in either direction. So, if at open we start to drop, I think we're going to get a follow through. If at open we start to rise, I think we're going to get a follow through. Today is not a day where we're just going to go foo-foo, like, oh, nothing's going to happen, nothing crazy is going to happen. No, I think we're going to get a follow through. Today's going to be a good day trading day. And it's also going to be one of those days where if you get the direction wrong the first time, I think it'll be worth the flip in the other direction. So also keep that in mind. Okay, cool. Meta, same exact thing as Nvidia, except do you know how Nvidia was gapping into that 500 solid range? Meta is gapping a little bit out and ahead of that. Is this? Yeah. So, okay. We're a little bit far off, but yeah, we're gapping up. I don't really see anything against it. No moving averages along the way. On the daily, nothing. No. So looks great to me so far. Look for continuation once we pull back and see if we can get going. I'd be truly surprised if we take out this candle today. So like, I'd be really shocked if we have like a bear day taking out this candle. So obviously with that being said, once we hit 332, it's just set an alert and see if we get any bullish setups over there on Meta. So yeah. All right, cool. Natasha says, I have a good profit on SPY. Should I sell at opening? Natasha, it really depends on what you like. Do you have shares? Do you have calls? When do they expire? How much in the money are you? So many things go along the way. But if I were you and I have the flexibility of getting out of some, I would definitely. You know me, I take partials all day long. Okay, cool. You guys are talking about how extended Brenda is. I mean, how extended Nvidia is. I'm sorry, not Brenda, but yes. Okay, cool. And give me 1 second. Let me just catch up with the chat pane. Meta's a little bit less extended, yes, for sure. Well, I mean, it is extended. If you were in Meta, and you got long on at 316 when we're opening at 335 today, you're going to want to take some profits. Trust me, guys, we have some profit taking along the way. We're not going to just open and take off and just continue on until 370. No, I think we're going to take off at open, trap some bulls at open, and then roll over, because we're gonna take some profits. We're gonna have some profit takers. It's gonna happen, guys. So yeah, be cautious today. Don't be married to a trade right away, right at open. We gotta be willing to, I guess, just be flexible is what I'm trying to say. For your SPY calls, yes, take profits. I wouldn't, if you have calls, that is. Okay, cool. Let me go check on YouTube, see what they have. Pins, Square, PayPal. Oh my God, lots of things. Let's go check out Peloton first. Just looking at Peloton the other day, and I was like, this is interesting. It looks kind of like, it's one of those like scenarios where it's gotten so bad, could it get any worse sort of things. And so in that relationship, I kind of like Peloton. It's so if I had to absolutely be forced to trade this thing, again, it would only be for day trading because I would not want to swing trade this at all. But if I had to pick and choose, really, honestly, I would not be day trading this either. I mean, there's better tickers out there. I would leave this one alone. It's a gap and go, sure, but it's gapping into the 10 EMAs on the daily. Plus, there's lots of moving averages along the way. It's not like I'd be surprised if we can make it out to the 20 EMA. Again, gap and go, sure, it could get going. But it would have been like a wonderful gap up if it was gapping up into like 550s. It's not. It's a small little gap up. So yeah. And I don't think any of the bears in here are going to be like, well, we better get out of our Peloton position. Let's go, squeeze out that. So I don't think that's going to happen. So Peloton, in my opinion, I feel like is a little less interesting compared to maybe AMD for if I had to choose between the two. So just my 2 cents. I think it could get going. Let's go look at Square and Pins. Square with a beautiful gap up. I mean, we knew anytime this guy got taken out where we should be going bullish, right? So Square with a beautiful gap up. I like where it's gapping up into. Wait for the dip and buy the dip. I honestly, I can't say anything else for Square. Yeah, great gap up. It's gapping into some resistance. So wait for that resistance to shine through and then dip a little bit and then go long. That's how I would play it. So basically, I would not want to play Square short, is what I'm saying. Long is the way to go. I'd put this in my long basket. Pins. Ooh, this weekly chart looks yummy. Pins with a sweet little gap up. Cute. Sure, I like that we're gapping up above this. It could continue, but I wouldn't like for a day trade. I'm not super excited. I like this gap up. It can continue, and I think it should. It will. But for a day trade, I guess retest gap, so buy the dip is how I would visualize this. And again, if you're in this for a swing trade, I would just take a tiny partial here and maybe like 1 or 2% off here, just so you can lock in some gains and then see which way we go from there. All right, PLTR. Oh, can I look at AI for Sky? Yes, absolutely. Let's check that out. How are you, Sky? I haven't seen you in so long. I haven't talked to you in so long. Okay, cool. Ooh, this is a pretty decent gap up. What's going on here? What sort of news? I like this gap up a lot. And I love that we're gapping up above this red candle. So I like this gap up a little bit more than pins, right? Like, can you guys see this inverse head and shoulders? And we're gapping up above that. Weekly also, it looks like we're making higher lows and we're looking to continue. I like this gap up. I think it's good for continuation. I would wait for 1 minute, one red candle, and then see if we can take it out at open. or set an alert around this range. It's, if it's going to dip, it's going to come down here, find support, and go higher. I would like to see continuation at open. Right at open, it should just fly off. I would like to see that, but if it doesn't, then wait for this dip buy opportunity. Sky says, life is awesome. Yay. Okay. Amazon had an inside day yesterday and now trading above the highs of the last 3 months. Ooh. Let's check out Amazonian. Boom. Yeah. Beautiful inside candle, just like AMD. AMD had a red candle, so it's a gap and go. So it's a little bit more interesting, but Amazon also, everything's pretty much gapping into either resistance or gapping out of resistance. So pick your favorites, right? Like my favorite obviously is Qs and SPY, AMD, Apple. I like Apple also for the longs. Amazon, not so much. With that being said, I'm not shorting this. I do think this could take off, but I feel like it's gapping into resistance, so it might have a little bit of a harder time taking off rather than some of the other ones. So yeah. PayPal, let's go do this. Let's go check out PayPal for YouTube land. Finally, this looks great. I love this consolidation. Love this gap. Whoever mentioned this, give yourself a pat on your shoulder, because this has to be a beautiful double inside candle. Well, almost double inside candle. Gap and go, gapping up. I feel like this will have a bigger continuation. I just don't like the weekly 10 EMAs. I think I might have spoken too early, but I like this gap up. I can't go against it. I really like this gap up. I think we can continue higher. At least it's trying, right? So I think we can continue higher. Let's see if we get a dip or a takeoff right at open. We'll see. But let me just add a couple of things to my list so I'm keeping a closer eye. Qs are not backing off, huh? PayPal. Everything else I have on my list. Nike has a bullish gap and go. Natasha says, should I take profits? Yeah, I mean, yes, take partials. I would take partials. Nike. Ooh, what is going on here? This is pretty interesting. I like this gap up a lot more right now. This is pretty cool. 3 days of bears, and we're gapping it up. Nike has to go as number one. Let's do a bull trade on Nike at open, and we will also do a bull trade on AMD at open. It's just a lot of consolidation. I like both of these guys. So if you have a style, I have a style of trading, and it's usually on the 1 minute chart. I wait for one bear candle and I look for that to get bought up. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm planning on trading AMD and Nike to the bullish direction. If the markets take a turn to the south side, I will wait for that gap fill before I go bullish again. So that's my plan, YouTube. It sucks that I have to let go at 9:30 and can't guide you guys any further, but we do have our rooms open, so come check us out at reallifetrading.com. I will catch you guys